The gold sack.
We tried, we thought we had a good solution to this, but it didn't work.
Thank you.
Brad, that's your present. There's something.
Hey,
Look at Bob.
Does Bo have a present
It's
on her?
Cleopatra's asp.
That's
one
to
that's
make
wrapped.
my arthritis not hurt.
Oh no, I don't want to be on the video.
what?
I didn't want to be on the video.
Why?
Don't wreck it twice.
It's a vase.
It's a personal gift. Actually,
Wow, did you make this?
one of my friends made it from hand.
Oh, that's
Isn't that pretty? Look, Bo.
Isn't it cool?
No
It is
food.
really cool.
Bo says, is there any food in it?
It is. I like
Here's
it.
three.
I three.
Look at the inside. It's like colors.
Give me my jogging suit.
A friend of mine made that.
No.
We're always going to wonder for years to come.
I bet it's some,
Picture of a jogging
I
suit.
bet it's some sort of book.
It's a Reader's Digest version of the Atlas.
Why we have a colander sitting on the TV.
And Dad is about to fall asleep.
The same thing with all
New
the
Orleans
things
striptease. VCR. My wife told me the other day she's going to divorce me, but she found out that
You're a porn star?
looking after girls who lust after is the same as adultery, and she just knows that I've done that many times in my life, and so I've had it. She's got great.
What an amazing speech!
No, broke out.
That's touching, Pop. Touching.
Oh, I'm so
Greatest
glad you
generation
got
in
that.
space.
What is that? It's a book about World War II. He's in great admiration of every veteran that ever went over.
Thank you!
Thank you.
Thank you!
I can't remember what anything is.
If you guys can be as brave as the guys that went to World War II, that's something to be proud of.
Well, I can't, so
Everybody, if I went to World War
You can try.
Thank you, Brad and Jeff and Mark.
She said thank you, Brad and Jeff and Mark.
You're welcome.
Welcome. This is made out of pure gold, by the way.
I know it.
The sack is worth more than jewelry.
Oh, the sack.
Yeah, I think that I want two of my presents too that I did.
It's no fun to pick it up neat.
This is awesome, Jeff. Look.
Oh, Joe.
What is
See
it?
the clutter.
It's a thing.
I'm gonna do what I did the other day.
a thingy. What was that from?
I love that thing.
It's a thingy.
Tablecloth.
Who knows what the hell that is?
Isn't that gorgeous?
I don't have a
Trying to
thing
keep this.
to wear at night except what Melissa's given me.
I'm tired of seeing you walk around
I
naked.
guess you think I do. At the end of the day,
I'm tired of you seeing you walk around naked.
But she said she didn't have it.
Jeff
Yeah,
wants
food.
everybody to open his.
I'm 7.
Who's this to?
You? I don't do a very good rapping job.
Bags go to the
Excellent.
gift
I'll show you my rappings.
I wanted to buy this.
Huh?
What is it?
What is it?
I think we own that already, but you don't.
What is
No,
it?
we don't. Outbreak and Fletch Lives.
Here's my rapping chops.
Get down
That was right there.
and squeal.
What is the name of it?
Fletch Lives.
What'd you get, Urban?
Jeremiah Johnson.
Now it's my turn.
Oh, this video is going to be. He's looking into the camera.
Don't forget to smile.
Who's this from?
Oh, is it from
Did you
Mark?
remember me saying, Jeff, that I
Where's
wanted
it from,
this?
Mark?
Bed Bath. No one. $20.
From
Memo.
Yay!
High five!
I'm going to spend this on booze.
Women in booze.
Okay, you're fired.
You just lost your camera job.
Booze.
Okay.
Jeff, did you hear whoever sang one?
Thank you very much. I need $20
I said one
so
down.
badly.
Like more funny movies like Fletch.
I thought you might want some funny ones.
Jeff.
Oh, don't be
I'm
gonna open this. No, open mine, open mine.
Sweet,
This one?
Yeah.
sweet, nice doggy.
Open mine, open mine.
Hey! Ball rats! Brother! Brother! We're going to move our heads out of the way.
Jeff, did you hear me at the Lomo and Jody show when we were talking about that? Are you listening to me, Jeff? When we were sitting at the Lomo and Jody, and I was like, man, I want a ball rat. That's hilarious, right? Blanket chicken ball.
Yeah,
And I was
idiot.
like, and Mark was going. I was like,
Because I just told you. No, that wasn't a rock.
I totally missed it.
I missed.
Oh wait.
Who's next? What did I? Oh yeah. Grandma's next.
Hey.
She only has one more, so this should be fast.
I like.
Hey!
We need.
Melissa,
She's coming out of the
look
oven.
at the
We
holes
need to get
there.
it.
Yeah.
Look at
That's
the
one of my
holes
favorite
in his
movies.
socks. He
Oh.
painted them.
I'm the
We're
one that
good.
was gonna be funny.
Right color too.
Yep. We
I
know.
want
This.
Moses, Lee. I got it back.
Hey.
Jeff. Jeff, right, it's Mom's turn.
I know.
No, I already gave you the one, remember?
Oh man, this is the exact situation that I focused in on Brad and he was all mad that one time.
E for
Remember?
What?
Are you number
And
two?
you're sitting right there, and I focused on you, and you were just going. Do it. Make the face.
You know,
There it is. There it is. Exactly.
What is it?
Real sneezing.
It's just a card.
you
Here.
have been named as the new football coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yay!
Hey, I can do
Well,
it.
thank goodness.
Oh, I get this in addition to the card.
Yes. That's just not fair.
This first note is signed YFG. You know what this stands for? Tell him, Brad.
Your favorite regrets.
Boo! We're the favorites too.
He's a self-appointed favorite.
zero or
Well, Jeff signs his.
Yeah,
What was it?
Very favorite
What did you put?
grandson.
Yeah.
Y
He did really?
F or something.
Yes, he did.
Hey,
Two.
Because that card didn't count.
It did two.
No, it
it was
didn't.
a present.
Open it, Pop.
It depends if you want to run out.
You'll run out. You'll run out fast.
Just sitting and
There
drilling.
goes the eggs for the
That was
cake.
ruined
Just
anyway.
chilling out over here.
All right.
Number
Grab
4.
them up.
Broke something else.
I'm 4.
Just watching
Yeah.
everything, you know, just looking around.
You're out, Grandma. Just kidding.
Oh, I'm sorry. You don't have any more.
Idiot.
You're done.
You could open ours.
Oh, thank
Jeff,
you.
why don't you try not to break the tree?
There's Grandma.
I'll take the bow. Thank you very much.
Is
There's
Evelyn
Grandma's
number
eye.
I'm
No.
number 4.
Ooh.
Four.
two? What happened to 2 and 3?
I got the candles.
Oh,
Daddy, got you know Mr.
You wrap cards.
That's from me. It's the Cowboys.
what is?
So that's the bad time to
Losers.
get him.
The losers, they stink. Boo!
Cowboy.
Burn it. Burn
Who's
it.
next?
Gonna have a little picture here.
Who are you looking for?
Here's me.
There's one right behind.
You.
There's one right behind that gold thing behind you. Yeah, there you go.
Let's eat it.
That's
Is it
what
okay?
we got. All the bakery employees, the little thing at M&M's. He already had it. I mean, I already given it, so I don't think he wanted it to be an official present.
What
What
would
did it?
they have?
M&M's.
Nice. Eddie Money, Ted Nugent.
That's
The
not
birds.
present because that came free with the other one.
Can't. What came free with what? This?
Open that, yes.
Oh. Ooh.
But that, I thought that was you. I picked that out.
Yes, that's awesome. That's awesome. I don't have any Kansas. $20 Camelot music. That's one CD.
Of your choice.
What is it?
It's a gift certificate for Camelot Music.
You got a free CD with that? Who's next?
Football.
Jeff and Mark wouldn't tell me what they wanted for Christmas.
Who's number
so I
7?
Well, that's the fun.
Make up something.
Oh,
That's the
I thought
fun
you
of
just
it.
was-
Not for me.
That's his.
What?
Number 00 wins again.
The girl doesn't matter this year. Save that one.
Dang, I wish I could have gone long again.
Yeah, right.
No,
Right,
please don't.
Right in the head.
A sack full of adult diapers.
Yay!
Jeff.
Just something fun about ripping a piston open
Get nasty!
in it. If you can. Oh.
It's a box full of adult diapers.
It's a little letter box.
So you can try to get organized. Cartoon.
What is it?
This is
Here, Brad,
not
open
been
it up.
on yet. That I forgot his
Brad.
name.
Okay, that's not gonna work. That's okay,
That's
you'll
it.
just not get your picture.
Oh! Good
Yes, I
grief.
did it. Let's go. Really?
Will everybody just calm down?
You and Daddy.
We got to drop the.
Young Jesus.
Who's
On
next?
with the show.
Dropped my camera and nearly wiped out my 2 Christmas
Who's next?
presents, the
You look
candles,
very
and
alert
the
tonight. in
You?
view of-
Got the price on that one too.
I was pretty excited.
Yeah.
Now the bad son,
Read it.
Jeff,
It's kind of like the soap opera.
got a crossword
Start
book
watching
for
it
Dad.
Like 2 or 3 times. Each episode leads into the next. So
Thank
you
you.
don't know what happens, so you have to watch it.
I don't know of any cows that want that gift. It's my turn again.
It's life, boy.
Fish on it.
It's a nose picture.
It's nothing. It's a box.
Nothing. Oh, it's nothing.
It's oxygen. Sweet.
Very nice. That was good.
I knew it!
No, wrong way.
Where's he going?
I was going to
What is
the,
that?
I was going to the old closet.
Hey,
Yay!
we're hoping that Britt.
Just chilling.
What's wrong with all those out on the floor? They just don't have their right name on them?
Just chilling.
No.
Just not their turn yet.
Idiot.
I love the way they're handling those boxes.
Just chilling.
That surely can't be mine.
Just breaking stuff in the kitchen.
It's from VS, whatever that is.
Us.
I'm just kidding.
I got tired of putting who over us.
But if I would, they had it up on this little thing, they were changing this little diaper, this little baby with his flat naked.
Let
And
me.
Grandma says, well, what is a boy or it's a girl? Says, Grandma, is your memory got that bad? No, that's better. Has your eyesight gotten really that bad? Maybe my eyesight is my memory. Couldn't remember which is boy and which is girl. Now that's just too much of a present.
Hey, that's probably like that Seiko you got on the street for $5. You'd probably
Yeah.
just work a day at
Oh,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
That's mine. That was the
Yeah,
first
that's-
little present
Yeah.
of the tree.
Is it your turn?
Whose turn is it?
Me.
Yeah, I'm glad you know that. I want to look at the watch, but I need to be closer.
I saw
Leave my
My
watch
eyes
alone.
are fuzzy. Oh,
There's something wrong here. Something very,
isn't
very
that
wrong.
wrapped pretty?
Where's they all are?
She wrapped mine.
Where's that from?
This is
Santa
from
Claus.
nobody. I don't know who it's from. Who's it
It's
from?
from us.
You got a shooter. His arm's about to go to sleep. Maybe it's over there.
Man, my feet are not that big.
Can't imagine what this is.
Popsicle.
Alright, cute. The candle? No. Another little angel.
But look what the angel's doing.
That looks like the thing we threw into the dumpster today.
Oh, the angel's an artist.
Turn the music on.
Turn it upside down.
It has
Turn it
music.
upside down and see it snows.
Turned upside down.
Well, turn the music on.
Oh,
Hey, look
On
at
the,
there.
on the bottom there.
There it goes.
Oh.
You remember those used to be very popular
yeah, and I still think
45,
they're real
50 years
pretty.
ago, the little things that you turn them upside
I'll give it the
upside
pop,
down
it'll
and
do
make
that.
some snow.
It plays Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa.
That is
How wonderful.
pretty.
Who's next?
I got a lot. That's not for me.
Was it a painting?
Uh,
Was it a painting?
If you don't want it, I'll take it.
a
Say
Wait,
the vote.
Rev, I
person
think
I
that
know, a
says
friend of
Evelyn.
mine painted it.
Oh, really?
Doesn't it say
Oh.
Evelyn?
Yeah.
And it
Sorry,
was
Mama, you don't get any more.
Ah, take it back.
beautiful, beautifully done.
No, that's to Evelyn from
Where's-
ours.
Yeah.
Harlan doesn't get her anything.
It's a green.
And Harlan's gonna
Yeah,
be
I don't have to.
surprised.
She gets it for herself. And she wraps it and says,
I hate you.
Put them up high.
Oh.
You'll have to look around. There's one up there up high. You can put them.
Yeah, okay.
That really
Urban
is
will have to
pretty.
hang it for me anyway.
Yeah, he's on one column.
I had a hard time wrapping that up. I wanted it.
Well, you always give me things that you like for yourself.
Yeah, you're easy to buy for.
This will be funny.
Look, another candlestick.
Oh,
I'm
oh,
ready.
well, they made a mistake.
That's her second one.
It's a light.
See? You didn't think I was just gonna get you one candlestick.
And you know what? You don't have to
Evelyn,
polish it.
that's your paintings on that television, on that computer.
No.
You don't have to polish.
Hey, it's just chilling over there.
Now that one looks like.
What up? I'm
I'm
just
sure
chilling.
not it.
Yeah, I'm just taking
Fade away,
everything with the
gone.
flow of things. You know what I'm
Looks
saying?
like
Right.
That's comprehensible for me, but I still like it.
Move.
They're just a little bit too glitzy
What's this?
for me.
Well,
What?
there was one that.
I bought that at the Galleria for myself.
Let it go, Mark.
Southern.
Yeah, he paints all over the world. He's a really nice man too, really nice man.
Who?
He has his wife's name in there somewhere, and everything.
Who?
What is that thing say?
Can
he has his wife's name in every painting?
Hey, that is maybe on his shirt.
$1.97 on sale.
Yeah,
this week
he's
on
a-
the-
He's a Christian.
Buy one, get one free.
Yeah,
Scriptures and
Yeah, he puts.
the buck.
Yeah.
50 cents.
Take it back to the store.
No, take it back to Bob.
Who's next?
Grandma!
Oh, it's my time again. Good.
I took your seat.
There's one over there.
What up?
Mark, give me see that.
What?
I'd like to be insulted because it's an XXL,
But you're not, are you?
but know the truth hurts. XL what?
These
Huh?
are-
3 or 4?
These are true.
X's? XL what?
It's an XXL.
Oh, it's 2 double XL? I've never seen an XX small.
An extra medium.
Yeah.
What is it?
This is an art pen with a palette on
It's
it.
an art pen with a palette on it.
Ah, cute.
Yay!
I was like, I'm sick of all this art stuff.
Brad's turn.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
That's a good pickup of a hint. I needed an alarm clock because mine's stupid.
Brad's a stupid.
Very good.
Who's next?
Dad.
You next?
Mom or
You got the
Dad?
order down yet, moron?
Somebody.
Almost.
She'd have been on the job. She'd have been right in.
Don't say thanks a lot, please.
There's a lot.
It gets really
How
old.
not to want to kill other drivers.
Just kill them.
Well,
How to kill other drivers and get away with it. Not
How
go to
to,
jail.
how to cure road rage.
Oh, neat.
Chicken soup.
what is it?
American clocks and
Oh.
clockmakers.
Let me see. Let me see.
It teaches you how to make clocks.
That's amazing.
See if
That
you
looks
tell
like
you
a fun
how to
gift.
Make my
I wish I'd gotten one of
grandmother
those.
talk well.
Neat.
They know
Give me
somebody
mine. Give me mine.
Yeah, I
I know a
know.
guy named Gary.
Thanks.
I
Gary,
have a friend that fixes it to do that they're coming.
I really like their new car. Well, there's some paper guy.
Who's that for?
what is it?
This has a mic on it.
Ah!
Hey, this has a mic on it so I can make myself up.
Hello, Dad. Time to get up.
Awesome.
Does it really?
I knew it.
Hey.
Awesome. Now I'm a complete guitar player.
You knew it? Okay, take it back.
That's a good book.
He looks similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I can wake myself up, and I want to wake up when Jeff wakes up. So I set it for 7.
This is that.
He sets it for 5:30, and
Breads.
then I wake up. Set it for 7. I like this. Man, were you like really pushing that button fast this morning?
I don't see you
Something like-
passing out any presents.
It's like, how in the world?
Who's next? Come on, we're getting a lull in the action.
Oh.
Number 2.
Do
Like
y'all
I'm about to
like
fall
having
asleep.
separate rooms?
And I have.
Where is that one? You sell it?
It's in Nick's room.
Nick's room.
You get the wrapper and she gets the thing.
That's all right.
I don't. Where are the normal fingerings?
All I know.
Anybody you know?
Like all the different fingerings.
Everybody
Like, that's what
I
they're
know.
doing in the recording
Everybody.
studio. He was like, no, see if you play.
First press under there.
The way he looked at me yesterday, I saw Mark, was the first time I ever looked
That
at
comes
him,
in.
they
Look at all.
favored it all.
Well, you know, you can never have too many crystal candlesticks. When you say you want crystal candlesticks around this family,
Well, that's not
you
just
get
crystal
crystal.
sticks. That's some kind of.
Look at this. Look at Jeff right there.
He's never looked like Mark before.
What did I miss? What did I miss?
You missed some crystal. Look, they're little baby candlesticks.
You stink.
Who gave you those?
$50.
Hey, leave him
Poor
alone.
Bo. You're supposed to let sleeping dogs lie.
Sorry, Bo.
Look, he's gonna
What
open.
number are you, bro?
Look at him, he's gonna open.
You got a throat too, didn't you?
An Afghan,
An
Sweet.
African.
and it says,
African Brad. What are you?
peace, aren't y'all?
Brad?
Jeff, Brad's turn.
That is really pretty, Melissa.
Give me.
He'll
Oh,
go into
beloved.
Jerry and say, if Gailey's back, I'm not.
What is it? It's a season
Who's
change.
gonna
hates
say
it.
that? His
Eggman.
Well,
He doesn't
Troy
like to play
Aikman
golf.
is recognized as
son.
has been.
Has been one
What
of the
you got there,
greatest.
Pebble?
Not now.
He's a used to was.
Some more see it is.
He's a used to was.
Yeah.
Listen on your CD.
What is that
Jeff, your
called?
turn. We just want to eat for a couple of weeks.
Thank you very. Ooh.
Yeah, there's 3
Thank you
of
very
them
much.
there.
Okay, Mama.
Mama's turn.
I don't surely.
I
Oh,
heard
well.
the bells are Christmas
I
Day.
don't care.
It's Mom's
Oh, it is.
turn. It's
Happy
Mom's
holiday.
turn. I'm sorry,
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
Good job. Just hold on to that.
him. I was
Well,
confused.
Mine
yeah,
too, you know.
Yes.
She just opened one. Your mom just opened one.
Oh, Father.
This is carving the turkey. Meat.
What? Working on the ham memo.
Yeah, I don't know what, I'm not doing a very pretty job of
Oh well, it's the taste that counts.
it. You know, that's not on, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, I made it.
Oh, the dog. Hello, Gilbert.
Is that the video?
Yes.
Oh. Hi. Millie Kalikamaka. Fröhliche Weihnachten und Joyeux Noel.
What does that mean?
Merry Christmas.
Awesome.
Feliz Navidad. Left that one out.
Tacos fritos.
Mind your own business.
Bateria poco regarcas.
That's what I was looking for an article in here on that.
You can't hear anything. Mark's a retard. 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 Gosh. Thanks for that. I'm gonna have to put it down.
Last night, they were, kids were watching.
Please, yeah.
And I'm your take
Bo says, I don't know what's
secret
happening,
bite
but I really like it.
I changed work for my wife.
I think we just wipe that can.
We know people there.
For your liver lovers.
That looked much like a liver.
Why do you come eat?
You say what?
Albuquerque Center.
Oh, okay.
She's standing there where filming us instead of eating.
She's, we'll be with her.
Oh, good.
And then he's going to England in March.
Oh, good.
That's what they teach you over that school.
Yeah, there's 8 of us, and 5 of us from Texas. And
I'll do this side of the table. They're not as rude.
Be careful, Daddy, you're on camera.
I can't do the left side of the table. Smile,
Smile
Smile.
right side. Smile right side of the table.
smile.
You want a mouse to be
Kitchen
cat
table.
kitchen table, yeah. Got the cat up there and got the instruments out and got all ready. And so all the brothers,
washed your hands.
yeah. All the brothers were lined up around the table to help, you know.
Yeah.
And this youngest one, he was 2 years old, that'd be Hayes, and he was just peeping over the edge of the table, you know, just tall enough to peep over the edge of the table and see what was going on. He was just watching all this wide-eyed. And so they got it done, got the cat sewn up, you know. And
They did it?
they did it, yeah. And let the cat loose, and they looked at Hayes and they said, "Now you're not going to tell Mom and Dad what we did?" I said, "No." I said, "We wouldn't have let you watch if we thought you'd tell them." "No, I won't tell them, no." And so
he stood at the door and watched for the buggy. And as soon as the buggy came into sight, he got away from the rest of the boys and ran to meet the buggy. And so our grandfather stopped the buggy and let our grandmother pick him up, you know, and she took him into her lap and said, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And he says, "Mama, Mama, you ought to see what them boys did to your cat."
He's gonna distance himself from all the other guys.
I tried to stop him.
What them other guys did.
Oh man! I can't believe they could hold a cat down while you did that.
They didn't have anything like anesthesia either, did they?
I'm sure they didn't, but
They might have given him a little whiskey.
there were 6 boys. I guess it was enough to hold him down.
That's what you call a catastrophe.
Catastrophe. Catastrophe. For the cat, anyway.
Yeah.
Cat, that's a castration.
If you're not gonna. Well, I think you should tell them the turkey story.
The turkey.
Yeah, Gilbert like that. One year, there was a furniture store downtown Sweetwater, and they were going to throw live turkeys off the roof. It's just a one-story, so it wasn't. But they had their feet tied, so they couldn't really fly very well. But they fluttered down, you know. So Dad and I went down there. And I was probably 3rd grade or something, and almost got one. Never nearly ever. They'd throw one off in one corner and then the middle and then the other corner.
Some they didn't have their feet tied.
Oh, they
They
did?
were allowed to fly.
Oh, okay.
If they could.
Give them a sporting chance.
Yeah, they didn't fly much. So the last deal, then they throw 3 off at the same time. Kind of the last big. Huh? Yeah, you catch them and, you know.
You catch them, they're
Right,
yours.
Yeah.
right down in front of the store, right under the turkeys near it.
So the last one, Dad caught him, and we took him, and I remember walking back to the car, and he was holding him by his feet, upside down, and his head was, you know, looking like this. So
You
we
guys
got,
can't be serious. He was
yeah,
saying.
really. Well, where are we going? Going back to the turkey farm?
You guys, my new owner?
So we go home, and Dad had this old machete that was about as,
Well, I put him in, that night I kept him in the garage, shut him up in the
yeah,
garage. keep
in a
him
box,
alive,
yeah. That machete was about this sharp.
Urban, it was the one he brought back from Africa.
The big old jungle knife that we had
Jungle that they
in a
cut.
jungle kit, yeah.
Very delicate.
So they're gonna go out the next day and cut this turkey's head off and pluck it and get it ready. Was it Thanksgiving or Christmas?
Thanksgiving.
So we got this block of wood, and we got my brother, and he had him hold his feet. He said, "Don't let go of his feet, or whatever you do." So Dad got his head and stretched his neck over this block, and I'm standing there watching all this, you know.
I was just gonna cleave him with one
whack.
whack.
One fell swoop.
Keeping in mind,
Guillotine him.
so he goes, whack, and it cut about halfway through, which did not set well with the turkey. So the turkey, no.
Yeah, it upset him a
So
little
the
bit.
turkey just,
Paul turned him loose and ran.
and the turkey started running all over the yard, and I headed for the porch. I figured this turkey had nothing but vengeance on his mind. If he had hold his head up, he would have picked us to death.
He said, "That ain't no way to feed a turkey."
That's right.
Urban, is that when you cracked your head?
No.
Paul left the yard completely. Got it. Couldn't even
Jump the fence.
couldn't depend on either boy to help me. Poor old turkey was out there running around with his feet still tied.
Like, hold it down! I gotta get out of here!
Did you get a video of that?
I wish I had.
Did you finally catch him?
I had the water on boiling because I had to scald the old bird.
About
And
an hour.
when I got him soaking wet, started plucking the feathers, I bet he had 1,200, well, that wasn't even started with, pin feathers, you know, it's where a bird will start building a new set of feathers. And they're just kind of stickery, not really full-grown feathers. And everywhere you pull one of those out, it pulls a little blob of jelly-looking stuff out of the hole it leaves, you know. And I worked, and she wouldn't turn her hand. She said, "I'm not going to have anything to do with that turkey."
That turkey is
So much for
off
getting back
limits.
to, back to the
I worked on
roots,
it
you know,
for
fixing your own
He's kind of
turkey.
gotten acquainted with that turkey, hasn't he?
I worked on that turkey 3 hours, and then went into the back of him to pull all of his insides out.
Was he dead
Turkey
yet?
needed to be home.
Just
He
almost, he was
sick by then.
He was so sick.
by that time
going.
He wasn't feeling too hot.
hardly by that time he didn't care.
Her dad walked the roof. I got a pop.
Did you finally catch him in the yard and cut his head off?
I finally got him cleaned up the best I could, and Eve finished up cleaning him up a little bit.
Well,
Put him
Paul,
in
that's the Thanksgiving that those Mexican girls brought us the food. We
Thank-
never did eat that turkey.
Thank goodness for those girls.
We never did eat that turkey. I don't know what I did with it.
Well, how'd you catch it? You threw it off the store.
Yeah, it just
Did
kind
you
of,
catch it?
Yeah.
plummeted down. I hemmed him up against the side of the car.
Remember that one lady's car was sitting there and had her antenna, and turkey hit it, and it just went, just bit her antenna down.
Actually, old Witter
Shotgun,
Jones
it's like-
got the turkey and they took it away from her.
Yeah, we assaulted her on the way to her car.
I could have bought a real fine frozen, or even it didn't have to be frozen.
Fresh turkey.
Butterball for less than $5, about $5 probably.
But you wouldn't have had near as much fun.
Well, we
Had
didn't
the
think it was
storage
fun
sale.
until about 3 years after that.
Oh, what a fun.
And now, 40 years later, it's really
It's
fun.
really
You know, occasionally I'll say something that's really all right, but my wife takes valid exception to.
Yeah, a lot of times.
Urban
Something
was
like
down
that
there, and I was giving thanks for the food. Blessed the hands that prepared this turkey, which in this particular case, Mr. Gonzalez down at the meat market, and
Give credit where credit is
It
due.
was the
Yeah.
first Thanksgiving we were there.
and the meat market cooked their turkey for us, and it was a good deal. You had food with it. But I gave him recognition in the Thanksgiving prayer.
And we had Urban and Melissa were there, and Nelda, a close friend of ours whose husband had died, was there. And she got tickled right into blessing. She couldn't quit laughing.
Then I got tickled and her getting tickled. Then it just
That's
kind of
like old man.
disintegrated from there.
They almost didn't get to the end of the prayer, huh?
Evelyn was not amused.
No, that was a bit, I still don't think it's funny, in fact.
First of all,
I
she
went to all
told me,
this trouble, and when you all get a wife, you want to respect the person that cooked the food, not only the turkey, but everything else.
Respect the
Amen.
Mr. Gonzalez.
Mark's
Yeah.
not getting married.
well, plus maybe you didn't want everybody to know that Mr. Gonzalez
wanted.
cooked the turkey.
Well, no, I didn't want anybody to know it. I was working in
Well, you
those
got
days
something
and-
against Mr. Gonzalez?
Yeah,
Harlan, I have an old uncle that was down one time back, they had a church service way back. This is when the women knelt to pray, got off of the bench and on their knees like the men did. And they called on this old man to lead the prayer out in the audience somewhere. And he was asked to remember the sick folks among them. So he got down between the benches to pray. And he said, we thank thee, our Heavenly Father, for all our many blessings. And we pray this morning for old brother, I couldn't remember his name. He raised up, turned around and said, John, what's that old man's name that lived down there half a mile from your place? He got back down on his knees.
Excuse me a minute, Lord.
Well, the Lord would have known who he was
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about. He didn't get the name
Well,
of
I
it.
don't think that's near as bad as what Klein pulled.
Old Klein Payton was preaching in Brownfield.
Y'all know who Klein is.
Well, back with that, when I used to farm with Uncle Nathan out north of Idlew, I lived right across the road from the Paytons. We farmed on adjoining farms and went to church at Beckton, a little old place north of Idlew. And there was an old man in the community named Moore. And everybody referred to him or described his place, or they'd give directions and say, well, you go down here half a mile on the other side of old man Moore's place. And that's the way they gave directions. So this is years later, Klein's preaching at Brownfield. Brownfield is the one that started the work, in Italy originally.
He's
So
the one
what-
they sent, isn't he?
Mhm.
Isn't he the one they sent over there?
Yes.
Yeah.
So one morning there at Brownfield, two men showed up, a man and his son, whose name was Moore. And this older man was an elder of the church somewhere. So he met and talked with Klein before the Bible class, I believe, and they visited a while. And so Klein had asked him in the course of the evening, or the morning, if he would lead a dismissal prayer. And he said, sure, I'd be glad to. So Klein preached the sermon, made an announcement or two, and he said, in following our closing song that Bill will lead us, he said, old man Moore will dismiss us. And old man Moore did. And so people began to come around just immediately. Why did you call Brother Moore old man Moore? He said, I didn't do that. And of course they had witnesses all over the building that heard him and were shocked. Why did you call him old man Moore? Of course it was a reversion to this habit he had developed way back in Idlew in Beckton as a kid. So he was so embarrassed he realized that what they were telling him was true. He slipped out a side door. He didn't even go to the front and shake hands with people. He went home. It was a sore spot with him for a long time. His brothers would kid him, but he didn't think that was very funny.
What about the guy that said the prayer behind, or was waiting behind the podium?
Oh, and you.
Oh, this is that little old, he lives
Time yet?
He lives out there close to us. Boyd Taylor's his name, a little old sharp guy, about 5 feet tall, maybe 5'1". Has a brother Brian, a twin brother who's regular size. But Boyd was preaching in Iowa Park up near West North Falls. And they opened a new building. Had a dedication service and invited folks in the whole area to come and help them celebrate. And so Boyd was the master of ceremonies, and he couldn't see over the pulpit very well. He was sharp. So he made the announcements, and he called on an old fellow out in the crowd somewhere to lead a prayer. And Boyd dropped down on his knees behind the pulpit. And the old man was a mumbler. He couldn't hear him. Boyd kept trying to hear, and he didn't know when he started or when he quit. So on hands and knees, finally he looked out around the pulpit to see if the old man was finished.
And sure enough, he was.
There everybody sat looking at him.
That's sort of like
He comes up
Be not afraid, Bart.
it's sort of like the day in Auburn. They were finished the Lord's Supper and ready for the collection, and the table, communion table, had long tablecloths that hung down to the floor, and they kept the collection baskets underneath on a little shelf. Well, this guy reached under to get the collection baskets, and he bumped them, and they come tumbling out the front side of the communion, and so he disappears. And here he comes. He's creeping under there. You see the sheet come up.
He looked like he had a little headband.
And worst of all, he bumped him twice more, and he had to keep crawling after him. I thought church was going to really break up.
What about the person that
swam across the, is that true about the baptistry when the front was glass?
Oh, it's a preacher's story.
Well, let me tell
Oh.
this first, Paul. Last Christmas, Woody Kay gave Paul a ream of typing paper, and across the front of it she said, this is a true story, really, by Paul Rogers. And she wants him so bad to write, all for the family, all these little stories that he knows, and on down for our great grandkids.
Well, go ahead. You through?
Uh-huh.
We were at church at Richardson East. I think it was Richardson East. Mark had a little
Oh,
toy car or something, you know. So he drops it, and the floor was hard, wasn't carpet, and it was slow. Pretty.
Is it me?
Yeah.
That was me.
Oh, it was Gerard and Jeff.
Wasn't it Mark? It was Mark.
He was a baby.
I thought it was
Mark
me.
was a teeny baby,
It wasn't Mark. Who was
I
it?
think it was me.
one of them.
Oh.
One of you guys.
Anyway,
One of
drops
you
the
guys.
car, and it rolled.
Well, first they looked back at me and said,
All the
Can
way
I
to
get
front,
it?
front.
Yeah.
when I thought they meant, like it was right there. Can I get it? I went, yeah.
All of a sudden their feet, disappeared, and we grabbed for them and missed.
They're gone.
And you could see people like each row they'd go. It was like comes up several rows later with the car going, I got it.
Urban says, wonder whose kid that is.
Remember when we went to Preston Road that time to visit, and we were all hustling in, and we were late, and there was no seats anywhere. So I turned in, and then we were carrying the baby and had little boys, and we all sat down in church, and I said, where's Brad? Urban said, I don't know, I thought you had him. It's gone. Totally gone. And they were little. I mean, they were just barely walking. And so I said, well, go find him. And so about this time, here comes this man. Brad had gone all the way up to the front of the church and was standing up there going,
He didn't see us turn in.
he didn't
to
make the
pew.
turn.
He just kept going. After the end, nobody was there.
It was so embarrassing. It was like
You were getting ready to
horrible
lead singing,
parents.
weren't you?
We were standing in the back of church, and there was a big old platform, big tall, like the stage. We were looking down there and said, wonder what Jeff's doing down there. And all of a sudden, he just goes, like Superman, just straight out, and just went, spam!
And he really hurt himself.
What was that? He's gone insane!
I think he really thought that he was just gonna fly right on down the aisle.
That shows you what TV will do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No explanation for that.
That was
They
a
were living
Sunday.
in Arlington.
I think it was.
Fly
Living in Arlington, and
stuff, and
boys were
when you come
about
when you're a little kid, you
Oh,
still remember
not
that.
quite 2 years
So
old. They
you
were
still think
walking
you could
real
fly
good.
And walk through doors, and
There's a little grocery store
and then you
just
learn.
about 3 blocks away,
You are
kind of a
taking it.
7-Eleven down there. And I took the twins to the grocery store with me, and after middle of the floor,
Everything they wanted.
I guess they were gonna come back and pick it up off the floor later.
The Disneyland incident.
Were you in church the day that Mom and I stood up and our whole little section stood up for the song? You remember that? No. At Pittman Creek, you know how they have different sections of seats? Well, we were sitting in the back corner. I think we were sitting on the front row. And it came a time in worship where you were going to sing, and it was usually a time when everybody stood up. Mom and I stood up, and our whole section followed suit. Stood up. We were the only ones standing up.
Nobody else did.
Yeah, and so Mom and I started looking at each other, and I started laughing, and we got real tickled. And the lady next to her got real embarrassed. And we finally all sat down. We giggled the whole song.
If it was the right kind of a congregation, you would have started a wave.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
You should have just gone up and just left, like you were just getting up to go outside.
Yeah,
Everyone
we
stands
stood
up.
up.
Left them all standing there.
What were you gonna say, Jeff?
Oh, when we had to go to the bathroom at Disney World.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
They wouldn't
The
let you go?
sidewalk cover.
That wasn't when y'all were going to a restaurant after service or sometime, somewhere. When, was it both the boys or just one of them? We turned around and they were
Yeah.
taking a leak off the curb.
Well, that was at Disney World.
Oh, was it Disney
Well, no,
World?
that also happened in downtown.
That was
Garland.
Brad.
What?
Garland, that was Brad. I was putting Mark, had him in the car seat, and had him put him up on the top, and I was getting the car, and Les went, and I looked down, and this was downtown Garland, all these little shops and stuff, and he just pulled his pants down and was standing there peeing on the tire.
He'd seen the dog do it.
Yeah.
What was that time, Papa, that Dad was talking in church or something and you were preaching and you called him down or something?
Oh, several times.
Which
time was that?
Several times.
Paul Ed.
No, it wasn't
No, it
either.
wasn't. It wasn't when we were in Arlington,
I was looking at
Randall Mill.
that baby in front of us, Mark Aldridge and me.
When we were living in
And
Kentucky,
I really, excuse me, took advantage of my son that day, and I apologized to him later.
did you
I
tell?
used him because some of the other kids were misbehaving, and he was right in the middle of them. He wasn't the culprit, but I used him to correct the others, and that was wrong.
What did you say?
If you boys don't think I have something to say to you too, you're mistaken. Talking to you, Urban.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Talking to you. Let's do it, Urban.
Well, the incident at Disney World was I took care of, I had Mother in a wheelchair, and they were over here just yakking. Everybody else was over there yakking, and I had the two boys and Mother. Mother's in a wheelchair, and they were in a little scooter thing. And so I got Mother out and sat her down, and I was taking the wheelchair to put it back where it belonged. And when I turned back around, Mother was sitting there just as nice as she could be, and both of them was standing up there TTing all over everything. And Melissa and Harlan saw 'em.
I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I wasn't there.
No, maybe
I-
you wasn't.
I
Harlan
don't know,
and
but
Melissa.
I must have been 30, 40 feet away from them.
Oh, yeah, but they, instead of
And this
helping
lady
me-
says, "Would you look at that?"
and they turned around like they didn't belong to
There
them.
was,
I wonder where they're from.
And I say disgraceful.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
But poor things, they've been so good, and they just needed to go to the
no,
bathroom.
what it was we had one person in charge of pushing Grandma in the wheelchair, one person in charge of pushing Mark in his little stroller, and then we had the double stroller that we rented. Then we realized then one person, there's 3 people that could walk and 4 people that couldn't walk. And so we started thinking, how are we going to get back from the place we have to turn in the double stroller all the way to the boat, and then from the boat to the car and all that. And I said, if they fall asleep, we're sunk because there's nobody to carry them. So I'd never given them caffeine, so we started giving them Coke. They were kind of wired up, and that, you know how it acts on your bladder sometimes.
And that's why you had to go.
They had to go. They had to go right then.
Well, yeah, they did.
And
They
you
stayed
know,
awake.
I pushed them in the double
The
stroller.
innocence of youth.
They had more fun at Disney World in the stroller than they did on the rides. Because I would drive real crazy and act like I'd run into things.
And Grandma had the best time of all.
And she talked about that for a year after she went, and how much fun she had.
The worst,
She didn't
the
ride a
worst
single
time
ride.
ever was it the next year or a couple of years after that when we went
I
to
saw you do this.
Disney
Now
World?
you're doing it.
Disney World. And we'd had trouble with the RV the whole trip.
Sure did.
And so Harlan said, we'll just let y'all out and we're gonna get the RV fixed. And so we thought that we were gonna stay till 10 o'clock or something.
They were supposed to pick us up at 10 o'clock.
Well, we got there and it was they should have stopped taking people. It was full. And we rode like 2 things all day. It was horrible. You
Just
couldn't
stood
even
in line
walk.
all day.
It was Christmas Day.
Yeah, it was horrible. And yeah, that should have been one of our Christmas
And I
memories.
went back to the lady and I said, I don't know if this is right or not, but I said, I just wanted to let you know what we've done today. We got here, we went straight for the whatever.
This was about 8 o'clock,
We
right?
stood, no, this was about 4 or something like that. I said, we have stood in 3 lines for rides, and it took us 2 hours to get a hamburger or whatever we had done. I explained, I said, don't you think that is horrible to spend all this money and the lines are so long that that's all we got to do? And they gave us 5
Yeah,
5 free tickets with no expiration date,
full day passes.
1 day pass.
Yeah. Which we used.
Yeah, we went back and we did. I said, I bet you we're the only family in America that did Disney World, Epcot, and Universal Studios or whatever they have, that MGM, all in 1 day.
Yeah.
In 1 day.
You didn't tell the worst
Well,
part of
right,
that story.
Go ahead.
So anyway, we decided, well, they're parked. I'm sure they've got the RV fixed by now, and
I remember
they're
that.
overparked
Oh, yeah.
on this kind of
I remember that too.
remote parking lot where you take this little bus and it lets
I
you
don't
off
remember.
at
We didn't come to the Disneyland parking lot. We parked in the big parking lot where there was a shopping mall, maybe 3 or 4 miles from
and it
Disney
had
World.
a shuttle bus.
Because we just had to wait till 10 o'clock the time to pick them up. So we took a
But
nap.
we had a plan.
Yeah, y'all were going to pick us up at that other lot with the shuttle. So we got on the shuttle bus, and we got to the little place where they were supposed to be, and we got off, and we thought, well, they'll be here in a minute. They went and got a hamburger or something.
They started going to sleep.
I remember that.
We had
I know.
three kids falling asleep all over the place, and so we waited and waited and waited and waited.
We got on the shuttle bus. We drove out.
Well, then we went back and we thought, well, maybe they were waiting for us back up there. Maybe we got Matt mixed up. So we got back over there and we waited there.
Sounds like somewhere camping there.
Well, then we went to we rode the shuttle bus out to the parking lot.
Well, then we started,
There was nobody-
riding out. Finally, I just asked the
Nobody
man.
was there.
He kept making us get off. I guess that was his rule. Finally, I said, sir, we've got 3 kids that are asleep. We can't carry 3 kids on and off the bus. Can we just keep riding on the bus until we find them? So he let us. We just put them down on the seat, and we just sat there and rode the shuttle bus for like 3 hours.
Well, Melissa
Where
was
were they?
supposed to leave a message for me, and I
Oh,
was
yeah.
supposed to call. And she left the message, and I called, but when I called, they didn't give me the message. And so all we knew was that we were supposed to be there at 10 o'clock, and they could have left earlier.
So
we were
what?
ready to leave. Like at what time was it? It was early.
8
So y'all
o'clock.
got there at 10 when you were supposed
Yeah,
to?
that was
Yeah.
according to the plan.
There
Now,
they came.
like she
Right
said,
up.
they were, if it was going to be moved up to an earlier time, they leave the message at the information desk, and Evelyn called the information desk, and the message was there, come get us now.
But they didn't tell it to me.
They didn't find it.
Why not?
That sounds like some of
Just
our
a
camping
mistake, just a
experiences.
mistake.
Inefficiency.
Yeah, that's
But when
true.
Melissa got on the bus, she fell into the bus in tears. She was exhausted.
Well, this sounds like a fun
Tired
trip.
too.
Was
Yeah, I fell in the bus in tears too.
Yeah.
both of you
Or-
bushes.
Yeah.
Let me get away from this sad story and tell a story these boys will appreciate, I think.
I want to hear the story about the outdoor baptism again.
I want to hear a story about the big meeting when the lady fell out of the balcony.
Okay, just give me a,
Put them in line. Number those 1, 2, and 3.
Put them on a napkin and
this one had to do with Horace
Stack 'em
Busby. Y'all familiar with the name Horace Busby?
Yeah.
I've heard it.
Old-time pioneer preacher, very popular in his day. And the story centered around the town of Ozona. It's reported that he preached 35 consecutive meetings in Ozona back in those days. Very popular. And there's a church where people would drive for miles in a horseback or buggy or whatever to hear him, and after the meeting was over, they didn't come back till he came back for the next meeting, about a year later. Austin Taylor, who's a well-known gospel songwriter, was his song leader. They kind of worked together for years. So Austin was with him. They started the meeting on a, let's say, a Monday night. The house was just full of people. And when he extended the invitation, there was a woman and her daughter responded, both to be baptized. So they got the baptistry ready, and they had some velveteen curtains suspended around the back of the back of the baptismal.
Fount.
Pardon?
Fount.
Baptist.
No. Baptist.
Remember,
So,
she's gotcha.
Yeah. So the woman wanted to see the daughter baptized, so she asked to be baptized first. So Horace got her in the tank, and they had the 2 sets of steps, and behind those curtains was their only little dressing room. So he baptized her, and some of the ladies helped her out and got around behind those curtains, and they got her wet clothes off, and she was stark naked. So they stood her up on a cane-bottomed chair, where she caught hold of the top of that wire that the velveteen drapes were
Are you way
hanging
ahead
on,
of
and she didn't put much pressure on it, but it didn't take much. And she was leaning over there, and as Horace told the story, said she was a gotch-eyed woman. You know what a gotch-eyed woman? One whose one eye goes one way and one the other. Not cross-eyed, just the opposite. So she had one eye hanging over that curtain watching while the daughter was being baptized. And right in the middle of the baptism, a nail pulled out of the wall, hanging, the drapes were hanging on, and she and the curtain, the whole shebang, came plunging into the baptistry, right on top of Horace. So he got himself disentangled, and this time the crowd was hysterical. And so he...
Naked woman falls in on you. Thank you, Lord.
So they got her and the girl out, and old Horace was standing there, and old Austin was sitting there on the front pew with his mouth open. And
What was the
Busby said,
naked lady doing?
Well, yeah, what was the naked lady doing? Staying underwater, probably. Holding her breath.
Taylor was the one that said we
But Austin Taylor was sitting there on the pew, and Busby said, "Brother Austin, lead us in a dismissal prayer, please." So he leaned forward and he said, "Our Heavenly Father," he fell apart. Busby had to lead the prayer. So finally the crowd was dispersed, and he and old Busby were sitting there on this front pew, lamenting what had just happened. And Austin Taylor said, "Horace, we just well pack it in," said, "meeting's ruined, and nobody will come back to work." Said, "We just well go home." And Busby said, "No. Said, we'll have more folks tomorrow night than we had tonight. I guarantee you that." And said, sure enough, the next night, people came in from buggies and horseback, and I think even by the train. And they were hanging out every window. People sat on horseback and looking at the windows to see what's going to happen next. And, you know, I heard that for years, thought it was just a story. And Guy Caskey, when he and I were both preaching in Sweetwater, he had preached at Sears and Summit in Dallas back when he was, I guess when he was working on his master's degree or something at SMU. And he lived about 3 blocks from Horace Busby. So they used to visit a lot. And so he asked Horace one day, he said, "I've heard this story all my life. And if anybody can tell me the straight of it, you ought to be able to do it. What happened?" And that's essentially what he told us.
Verified it, huh?
Yeah, verified. Right down to the last.
When we were
Funny
living in Kentucky, we lived up there for 2 years. Those people in the church were very devoted, dedicated Christians, and knew a lot about the Bible, but other than that, a lot of them weren't very well educated. So the preacher was conducting a Wednesday night series on great leaders of the Reformation. And so that night he was covering Martin Luther. So he goes through the whole story about Martin Luther. And, you know, in the story of Martin Luther, when they arrested him and had him tried, he was tried by a tribunal called the Diet of Worms, because Worms was the German city where it was held. And so when the preacher got all through the lesson, he said, well, are there any questions about the lesson tonight, about Martin Luther, anything you want to say? And one of the elders, he raised his hand, and he said, well, you completely left out the whole part about where they made him eat the diet of worms.
I think the most saddest thing ever happened.
It was serious. I got so tickled I had to be restrained. Fortunately, my wife was sitting beside me and restrained me.
You're the only one. It'll calm down. This is an incident at Grant Street when we were there in fall of '47.
Oh, but you remember it, didn't you?
He was about 11.
Yeah.
Well, he may remember when I mentioned about it. But the preacher had preached a very fine sermon on preparedness. All the way through, preparedness. He even mentioned the Lord's Supper. You remember that? Burn?
Go further.
Well, anyway, came time, they had the Lord's Supper after the sermon, and men came forward, and they started opening up the communion set. There was nothing in it.
I do remember that.
No bread,
Yeah.
no cups. And I've forgotten who the women were, that about 3 of them that came
Well,
marching
he looked
forward.
up quizzically at him, you know, looked around, and Ms. Anderson was one I particularly remember.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And a couple of others followed her.
We were standing. The congregation, for some reason, was standing. No, that may not be true. Well, anyway, the men at the table were standing.
Yeah.
And they just stood there in abject silence while those ladies took all those emblems and took them out the kitchen place and filled them up and brought them back in. It took them, 12, 14 minutes.
Yeah.
It never occurred to anybody to sing during that time. Everybody just looked like
They
they
just
were
stood there and absolute silence.
Yep, that happened. I was there, I remember it.
Was you there, Charlie?
Well, you're there when they forgot to fill the communion baskets.
The only thing that's ever happened to me in church is just if somebody got sick or something, and you just have to sit there, and you don't want to sing because it might disturb the sick person. A couple of times in Pittman Creek, there's been times where somebody passed out or something in the middle of church, and we just had to sit there. Didn't want to dismiss because then that might disturb the sick person, so you just sit there.
Dennis Haynes' wife fainted a couple of times and had to be taken out.
Well, and one girl, I forgot her name, they moved, but I talked to her later and she said, "Oh, I'm so embarrassed." And I said, "Well, what happened?" She goes, "Well, I'm embarrassed to tell you." I said, "No, come on, tell me." And she said, we were singing that "Oh Lord, Our Lord," and on the very end where it goes, "Oh, oh," and the sopranos go real up high, she hit that high note and passed out.
Some singers just break the glass.
What would cause that, Melissa?
Well, it kind of worried her because it was so, that's not really normal for that to happen, but they did a bunch of tests and never did find anything wrong.
So she just can't hit high notes.
She didn't have enough air, and she tried to.
Do y'all know why we put the angel at the top of the Christmas tree?
No, why? I'll be your straight man.
Well, it's a tradition that goes back several hundred years. It was one Christmas Eve, and the snow was just really coming down, ripping it, and the toys just go flying everywhere. And so he's fit to be tied, getting very nervous because he's about to be late. And so Ms. Claus comes up and she pets him on the shoulder and she says, there, don't you worry, just relax. I'll sew up the bag for you and then help you reload the toys. So she sews up the bag for him and then helps him pick them all back up and get them in the sack. And so he gets the sack out to the sleigh and puts it in the sleigh, and then he notices that there are no reindeer there. Somebody has left the gate open and the reindeer have escaped and they're all over the side of the hill. So he has to go tromping through the snow, getting the reindeer back together, and so finally he gets them all herded up and hitched up to the sleigh. And as he's driving off, the sleigh hits a rock and breaks a runner. And so then a beautiful young angel comes trudging up through the snow, and she's dragging a Christmas tree. And she says, Santa Claus, Santa Claus, I've brought your Christmas tree. Where do you want to stick it?
I got that email.
In memory of that poor angel that was mutilated by
Violated.
I'll never look at an angel on top of the Christmas tree the same again. I'm glad we have a Santa Claus. I hope the same thing
Hey,
didn't happen to
Bo,
him.
all this food and you're not getting any.
He was the guilty party.
Yeah.
Here our feet are often weary on the hills that throng our way. Here the tempest darkly gathers, but our hearts within us say, yonder over the rolling river, where the shining mansions rise, soon will be our home forever, and the smile of the blessed giver gladdens all our longing eyes. Our longing eyes. I just had to do that.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, I shouldn't be armed. Oh, here.
What did I say next?
It's 5
No soprano.
Give me the mic.
I kept waiting for it. Laura almost did it. And I almost.
Yeah,
But I almost did
almost
it.
I
I kept waiting for soprano in that one.
can't do the other one. Can I finish the first one?
I'm gonna go to one.
568.
We got 5, 6 ahead.
Jesus rose of heaven, 112. 112.
Can I finish?
Well,
Then, or the.
There we go.
Wonderful grace, a mighty rolling sea, wider than the mountains, great like a fountain, falls of His grace for even me, broader than the scope of my transgression, singing, greater far than all my sin and shame, oh, magnify the precious name of Jesus, praise His name.
Standing song.
That's not good.
Those lights?
Thank you. That's not good.
We have
Wow,
a
they have really trained that lamp.
Good.
Me?
Yeah.
Hallelujah, praise Jehovah from the heavens, praise His name. Praise Jehovah in the highest, all His angels praise proclaim. All His hosts together praise Him, sun and moon and stars on high. Praise Him, O ye heaven of heavens, and ye floods above the sky. Let them
always give. Catherine.
Catherine in the chair, Laura's on the floor.
Right.
Oh, it's good.
Oh, you met Laura, that's right.
Go ahead and
Yeah,
leave it.
we met Monday night.
Allison, Dad. Dad.
Hey, Evelyn.
Hi.
Urban's dad.
She fussed at me because you said,
23, Evan.
you ever say hi to her?
Yes, I could.
You don't have
Hi,
to.
Evelyn. Then she comes in.
Okay.
Very God concealed from human sight, He painted skies with heavenly hue, and framed the world with His great might. Lifted even me, love lifted even me, when nothing else could help. Love lifted me.
How about 508?
Lifted me.
Why didn't you do the wonderful down there?
I didn't see it.
Oh, wait. Somebody not do the wonderful? 508.
Oh.
508. In this book.
That's nice. You laid it?
Don't you show?
A wonderful Savior is Jesus, my Lord, a wonderful Savior to me. He hideth my soul in the cleft of the rock, where rivers of pleasure I see. He hideth my soul in the cleft of the rock, that shadows a dry, thirsty land. He hideth my life in the depths of His love, and covers me there with His hand, and covers me there with His hand. When clothed in His brightness, transported I rise to meet Him in clouds of the sky. His perfect salvation, His wonderful love, flies out with the millions on high. He hideth my soul in the cleft of the rock, that shadows a dry, thirsty land. He hideth my life in the depths of His love, and covers me there with His hand, and covers me there with His hand.
Could I make a selection?
No.
Cute doggy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry, Bo.
And I got it on tape.
Here's a cute dog.
Okay.
But yeah, don't disturb that little dog.
81, Tara.
I'm satisfied with just God's will.
Ready?
What do you think, Mark? Awesome.
I mean, it sounds just as good, but that there again, we have to play within those.
The dry stuff is kind of almost like about like
imagine figuring out how to, like the first guy that started doing that? Writing it down? How do you write that down?
It's not written.
Oh, it's not?
No, there's no written music for flamenco. You have to learn all
You
that.
have your hands insured.
I barely have myself insured. No.
Man. So it's just passed on from hearing it
Yeah,
and being taught, whatever?
exactly. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Your fingertips stay pretty calloused out.
Oh yeah.
So where
It's like snakeskin.
Roy Clark got his first guitar for Christmas, and he went to.
There's a real popular rhythm now that's existed for a long time, but it's just hit this country in the last few years. It's called rumba. You know, rumba. Gypsy Kings play rumba all day long. That's all they ever play is 4/4 rumba. You know, that's all they do. You know, and it's really become very popular. But what people don't know is that music has been around for a century already, and it's categorized in what we call music called ida y vuelta. Ida means to go away, and vuelta means to come back. And there was a war between Spain, where the Spaniards went to Cuba to fight, and those that survived took back with them some of the music from the surrounding area, Colombia, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Cuba, and so forth. And one of those rhythms was rumba. And so now we have two categories in flamenco music. Before that war, the music, the pre-war stuff was all called cante hondo, which was all the original chanting and all the original rhythmic stuff that before the guitar was invented. And then after that, post-war, is all the new music with the guitar, which is what we call modern music in flamenco.
Yeah.
You know, which is already a century
Right.
old, you know. So, anyway, this is a rumba. it does all the strumming, in the strumming only. In the strumming. It's kind of deceiving. It doesn't look like it's doing it, but it does. It does a lot of work. But it doesn't do any of the picking.
Yeah.
Basically, these fingers. Only occasionally.
Try to kind of keep it out of the way.
Only occasionally we use it. It's just that such a short finger, it's almost useless. That's why that nail is so long. Don't have a lot of grab power with it. It's too short. To use it, you have to move your hand out of the way, then the others are out of position, so it's almost not. But for strumming, it's useful. For sure.
Well, that's
That was
terrific.
great.
That was awesome.
Thank you. Thanks for the dinner. That was a great treat. We never have time to make food at home hardly.
Here we are at Christmas time, there's magic in the air. It's a bright, clean world, all snowy white and new. But Christmas time's a time for two, and you are far away. So I'll watch my snow white Christmas turn to blue. I'll have a blue Christmas without you. I'll be so blue thinking about you. Decorations of red on a green Christmas tree won't mean a thing, dear, if you're not here with me. I'll have a blue Christmas, that's certain. And when those blue heartaches start hurting, you'll be doing all right with your Christmas of white. But I'll have a blue, blue Christmas. I'll have a blue Christmas, that's certain. And when those blue heartaches start hurting, you'll be doing all right with your Christmas of white. But I'll have a blue, blue Christmas. Here's a little bit. My wild Irish rose, the sweetest flower that grows, and today what's the next word? It's
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Oh.
it was.
Racism everywhere. My wild Irish rose, the sweetest flower that grows. You may search everywhere, but none can compare with my wild Irish rose.
Why are we so laughing?
You're an idiot. Why? Because we can't stop.
I'm sorry, Mom. This will be.
Well, Irish rose, the sweetest flower that grows. You may search everywhere, but none can compare with my wild
sake, she may let me take the bloom from my wild Irish rose. My rose, the bloom from my wild Irish rose. You know, we keep coming back like a song. Is that too high?
I don't know. I've never heard that in my life.
You haven't?
He'll recognize it.
You keep. If he's gonna tape, we ought to sing something we know.
Well, forget about the tape. If you want to sing that.
Yeah,
Well,
he's fine to do.
You like that one?
I don't have the music to it, but we can try. You keep coming back like a song, a song that keeps saying remember the sweet used to be that was once you and me, keeps coming back like an old melody. The perfume of roses in May returns to my room in December. From out of the past where forgotten things belong. You keep coming back like a song, like a song. Let's go to this ending. You keep coming back like a song. I ran into the hitch when I got right there. I didn't know how to do that.
That's bass.
You know, when you guys are supposed to hold something for a long time, and I'm moving on too fast, you can handle something like that, so I know that y'all hadn't finished your part, but I don't want to step on there.
You want to do all the way tag?
What happened to your music?
Well,
You got mad one
I
day.
started tearing out a notebook and I just tore it the wrong way. I know you
Hand
know
move, please.
if I give my art to you.
Yeah. Oh, we sang that one in England, didn't we? Yeah, I know the tenor did this one because I sang it.
Yeah, with the English chord. Okay, let's skip the intro and just go. Start on F
I think
sharp.
I
If I give my heart to you, will you handle it with care? Will you always treat me tenderly and in every way be fair? If I give my heart to you, will you give me all your love? Will you swear that you'll be true to me by the stars that shine above? And will you laugh with me when I laugh? Cry with me when I cry.
I like that song, but it's makes
I
me-
can't believe that you did that. Cause it's doing me too. It's a sad song. See,
That was the best one yet.
Let's do it over again and get steel-hearted.
I hate law.
Just think of Marge Harry Butt. That'll get you through it.
Let's go kill some cats.
Stand up on the counter.
Drop them.
Sit with your butt, Mark.
Isn't my music strange?
It's funny.
Okay, if he says our best song, let's try it, and I'll see that I don't stop. Then we'll try the one you got.
Don't think about the words. Just think about getting the notes right.
That's
what I was doing.
Me too. I didn't even know what song I was singing.
I wasn't even thinking about the words.
If I give my heart, that's too low. F sharp. If I give my heart to you, will you handle it with care? Will you always treat me tenderly and in every way fair? If I give my heart to you, will you give me all your love? Will you swear that you'll be true to me by the stars that shine above? And will you laugh with me when I laugh? Cry with me when I cry, and always be as you are with me tonight. Think it over and be sure. Please don't answer till you do. When you promise all these things to me, then I'll give my heart to you. And will you laugh with me when I laugh? Cry with me when I cry, and always be as you are with me tonight. Did I hold it too long? Think it over and be sure. Please don't answer till you do. When you promise all these things to me, then I'll give my heart to you. That's not right,
Do that one part again.
I'm grunting all up.
No, that's
Let's go back. Think it over, be sure. Think it over and be sure. Please don't answer till you do. I need to sing a happy one.
Happy one.
I'm about to sing out.
How about
voice
Girl of My
dancing.
Dreams? None of us are girls.
Let's do that. This one.
None of us are girls. We already did that one.
What is that?
That one. Down our way? No.
You know some of those
They probably don't.
what do they call them? Songs?
Stupid songs?
No, Bobby Polecat. Like
Polecat.
Shine on Me, Down Our Way, and all that stuff.
I mean, there's music there.